Alright, ready to rock. So today was supposed to be a lot warmer than it ended up being. We're sitting at about 45 degrees right now. As you can still see, we've got the lovely snow out, which is just wonderful. Love the snow. Not really, I want to ride my bike more. But basically, the topic of today's video, something that's kind of near and dear to me, is anxiety and panic attacks specifically. I have probably 1 or 2 panic attacks a day, and it really sucks. For those of you that don't know, panic attacks are basically like physical anxiety. You know, a lot of people get anxiety attacks in their life, where they just feel super anxious and uncomfortable. And, you know, in my case, it goes a step beyond just feeling worried. I physically feel like I'm gonna die, which is not fun to have going on a daily basis. My throat gets really screwed up. I start to feel like it's closing, like I'm dying. And there's a large stigma over panic attacks and the people that get them. Everyone thinks it's just in your head and you can overcome it. But in a lot of cases, you can't. You can't just get rid of it without some sort of intervention, whether that be holistic sides of things or by medicine from a doctor. I've been on a couple different medications. I went on Zoloft and Prozac at some point. I'm not a huge fan of medication. It just makes you feel a little bit off, and I don't like feeling like that. So what I do is I find things that are productive. I don't let the panic attacks run my life. One of those things is work. I seem to do better with my panic attacks when I am working. Another thing I do to be productive with my panic attacks is I work out. Especially running helps. Weightlifting actually makes me more anxious for whatever reason, so I'm just going to be a little skinny guy with no muscle, I guess. Obviously, this channel is based on motorcycles, guns, and cars, and some of the places I feel most comfortable are at the range, on my motorcycle, and in my car. A big thing I hope that happens over the next couple years is I really hope that the stigma with panic attacks and anxiety and all the mental disorders kind of goes away, and more people come out and say, hey, you know, I struggle with this. Another big thing I do for myself is remain social. Now, if you just hold yourself up and you just, you know, let the fear attack you, you'll definitely start going down a bad road. You'll start feeling all sorts of not great things. So that's why I don't let it take advantage of me. I do everything in my power to cope with it. And doctors have said I'm a very self-aware person in regards to my panic attacks. I don't let it screw up my life. I don't go home from work. I don't, you know, run away out of situations. I just find productive things to do to keep me happy. A couple of other things I can recommend for panic attacks are, there's a couple different websites you go out there. One thing that's terrible for people with panic attacks is the fucking internet. Fucking internet. But there are a few websites that you can find that help you deal with panic attacks and ways of kind of self-coping without self-medicating. I'll definitely have to look up exactly what that website is and maybe just put a quick little snippet of the website through the video here. Some things to avoid when you do have panic attacks. Number 1, any sort of stimulant. If you do drugs, you're just going to give yourself some more panic attacks. Now, if you smoke or drink energy drinks or drink alcohol, alcohol's a depressant, but any of that sort of stuff will kind of, it can set you off. Another big key is not to avoid situations. Having panic attacks, you just have to learn to work with them. They're not always going to go away 100% of the time. Well, I mean, they'll always go away for the time, but you'll probably get another one. And, you know, you just can't fear it. You can't let it run your life. And you just have to realize that, you know, it will always go away. You're not gonna die. You're not gonna pass out. You don't run away from that situation. Because if you start running away from the situation, you're gonna perpetuate other issues, where you're gonna start becoming agoraphobic or something like that, where you're gonna not want to go out in public or meet with people or be a productive member of society. And, you know, I've definitely gone down that path a few times where I just haven't wanted to leave the house at all. But I've stopped doing that. I try to get myself out as much as I can. You know, obviously there's days where I just don't want to go out, but that's not because of my anxiety. That's just because Mitchell likes being on his couch. Don't let the panic control you. That's the moral of the story on this one. And I know I have a lot of friends and family. My family seems to be very prone to panic attacks. But yeah, my family's pretty prone to it. And your family might be too. That's alright. Now off to Best Buy to check out voice recorders for your videos. Well, this wasn't as long of a video. Maybe it wasn't as enlightening as I would have liked it to be. But everybody, just, you know, be happy. Be happy with yourself, and, you know, everything will be okay. You know, work through your problems. Don't let your problems control you. I've definitely tried to learn that, and sometimes I need to probably listen to myself a little more. It's never too much. You will always make it through. Have a good day, guys.